Tracer, a time-jumping adventure and an irrepressible force for good. Also known as that little fucking shit that keeps popping off around you, tickling you, occasionally throws in some bitch slaps as well. Tracer is the face of Overwatch, but in actual gameplay, she's not really all that impressive. The developer's idea for Tracer was for her to play a hit-and-run playstyle, using her mobility to make up for low HP pool while gathering ultimate charge to devastate static defenses and tightly grouped enemies. Whoa. This playstyle works in theory and in practice, as there are plenty of Tracer "wow, I am so good" play of the game posts on Reddit popping all the time. But once you play the game for a fair amount of time, you will come to realize that Tracer does not really, in general, work. The design of the hero gives it a natural disadvantage in that if your opponents can aim, you lose. Sure, you have control over where your hero is and are given the tools to be unpredictable in terms of your movements, but in the end, if your opponent manages to predict your movement or just have inhuman reaction speed to flick to your position or trace you, you will die. So what we have here is a hero that is designed to not fight anyone head on, which is stated in Wikipedia's. This means that Tracer's role is relegated to sniper and backline killers. Now let's see who else shared the same role as Tracer. First of all, we have Genji. Genji has the ability to maneuver vertically with his double jump and dash, while Tracer can only do so horizontally, which is stupid, but it's how it is. Tracer has a get out of jail free card, recall, while Genji has a deflect. What this means is that playing too aggressive as Genji will get you punished, harder than playing Tracer. But on the flip side, knowing when to go in and how deep you can go rewards you more when playing Genji as compared to Tracer. Lastly, Genji has an ultimate that can potentially do up to 960 damage to a single target, as compared to Tracer's 400. Not to mention that Genji has the flexibility to use his ultimate on targets in different locations, while Tracer can only target a small AoE. So here we have Tracer having a lower skill floor and lower skill ceiling, which raises the question as to Tracer's viability as a competitive hero. Another hero that performs the same role as Tracer is Reaper. Reaper has less mobility than Tracer, but same with Genji, allows for maneuverability around terrain vertically rather than limited to horizontal maneuvers. Reaper also has a get out of jail free card similar to Tracer's recall. However, there's one big difference with Reaper's Wraith form and Tracer's recall. It is that Wraith form can be used offensively, as you can reload before entering Wraith form, while dodging your target's important abilities such as Scattershot or Flashbang, which lets you kill them afterwards with little resistance from them. Lastly, Reaper's ultimate has the potential to deal up to 600 damage to a single target, but at the same time, having a significantly larger AoE than Tracer's pulse bomb. And then there's Winston, who is tankier than Tracer, has better teamfight capabilities with his barrier, an aim-assisted auto attack, has the ability to maneuver vertically with short cooldown using his leap, and has an ultimate that restores and boosts his health while knocking enemies away with shorter cooldown on his leap. Needless to say, Winston is basically a buffed up Tracer that actually performs his role consistently, while also having the capabilities of other roles. Hence why he is one of the top picks competitively at the moment. Okay, so Tracer's hero design puts her at a disadvantage. Surely Blizzard will make up for it by giving her an advantage in her attack damage, or movement speed, or some other superiority in stats, given that she is as squishy as Zenyatta. Actually, Zenyatta is tankier in the sense as shields regenerate after 3 seconds of not taking damage, making Tracer pretty much the squishiest hero in game. Anyway, if we look at the values of the aforementioned hero's damage output, we see that Genji does a constant max damage of 93 per second with his auto attack at any distance, while Tracer can do as little as 60 damage per second if she is at maximum distance. And that is assuming that she somehow lands all of her shots, which is unlikely. But that's not really realistic, so let's compare Reaper and Tracer's damage, since they are both at their optimal damage output when they are within close range of their targets. This should provide a fair comparison. Reaper has the potential for 280 damage per second with his auto attack, while Tracer can do 240. At the same time, Reaper can fire constantly for 4 seconds until his reload, which takes 1.5 seconds, while Tracer has to perform her 1 second reload animation every second. Meaning that, in theory, if Reaper and Tracer both land all of their shots at maximum damage distance while taking reload time into account, Reaper can do up to 1,120 damage in one clip and reload, which takes 5.5 seconds. Meanwhile, Tracer can only do up to 720 damage in the same amount of time, and she won't even be able to reload for the next clip. So it is a clear win here for the Reaper. And all of this are not taking into account of headshots, also known as critical hits, which will multiply the gap by 2 times of what it is already. Now, if we compare Tracer's damage with Winston, well, there's no need. Winston has aim assist, so there's no contest here. Winston takes a cake. And when it comes to movement speed, she has the same movement speed as Genji, while only being 9% faster than Winston and Reaper, which is the rest of the heroes. Okay, so Tracer sucks at what she does. But maybe, just like Winston, she has some sort of other sub-roles that she can fulfill while being an annoying little shit to the enemy backline. Let's see, mid-long range reliable DPS, outclassed by Pharah and Soldier 76. Contesting objective point, delaying enemy capture, well, Mei and Winston can easily do better. Providing intel for their team, Widowmaker's ultimate does that without having to put herself in danger. Alright, so in conclusion, her close range DPS is not the best, basically not viable from mid to long range. Cannot heal for her team, and her ultimate is inferior when compared to other heroes that have the same role. She has a low skill floor, her skill ceiling is also limited. She is basically a trash can when you pit 2 teams that have the same skill level against each other. Yeah, so she's bad. But what can Blizzard do to make her viable as a hero? In my opinion, she should be buffed while keeping the idea of her role in mind, a backline killer. Meaning that the buffs will have to allow her to actually be a threat, even to players with the most insane reaction speed and precise aim. To achieve that, Blizzard would need to be focusing on the idea of hit and run. First of all, you can start by allowing Tracer to blink to the direction she is facing, meaning that she can blink up and down rather than just blinking forward regardless of the angle you are facing. Come on, Blizzard. Furthermore, as of right now, Tracer gets one-shotted from a body shot by Widowmaker's fully charged snipe, with the exception of the case when Symmetra gives Tracer extra 25 shield, or when Torbjorn gives her the armor. If we reduce the Tracer's health, just maybe, to like 125 or 100, while giving her a boost in damage of the same proportion, she might actually become much better at performing her role of disrupting the backlines of the enemy. Since she dies from one Widowmaker shot either way, it wouldn't make a difference when it comes to fighting Widowmaker, which is most commonly the case, at least in competitive play. The only material effects that this change will bring will be Hanzo being able to one-shot Tracer with a fully charged arrow now, and Tracer being able to more effectively kill the enemy backline and prove to be more of a threat than just a little British girl tickling your bum. This not only raises the skill flow of the hero, as having shit movement punishes you more, since you are easier to kill, but at the same time, it raises the skill ceiling of the hero as it rewards players who are able to maneuver the terrain properly with the ability to actually deal lethal damage to unsuspecting enemy backlines. Of course, there are other ways that Tracer can be buffed. Give her bonus on charging her ultimate when she lands headshots or melees, or increasing her base movement speed, etc, etc. Some of the changes might make Tracer imbalanced, or just change her role in the game completely. But as of right now, Tracer is in the state of being complete garbage hero that only newbies try, because they don't know how much of a garbage trash can she is. Or when a skilled player is stomping pubs they have no idea how to aim. Okay, maybe she's not exactly in that bad of a state, but she is most definitely not competitively viable. From personal experiences, Tracers don't really win games. And the statistics agree. With Tracer being the 6th lowest win rate hero, it kind of tells a story. She isn't fun to play against as she annoys the fuck out of you, but she also isn't fun to play with as you know you are most likely going to lose with a fucking Tracer on your team. It isn't even fun for the Tracer player when the player realizes that there are other heroes that can do whatever Tracer can do, but better. So Blizzard, you probably won't hear this, but please buff Tracer.